I wonder whether Paul had a wry smile on his face when he wrote this. Greet every saint in Christ Jesus. The brothers who are with me greet you. All the saints greet you, especially those of Caesar's household. Now remember, or you might not know, but the Jews were waiting for a Messiah. Famously, they're waiting for a Messiah. And many of them believed this Messiah would be a sort of political or kingly leader who would come in and in some way free them from the reign of the Romans and overthrow the Roman sort of colony or Roman Empire that had covered them over and was relatively oppressive. And so they were expecting this Messiah to come in and overthrow the Roman Empire in a very victorious way. Paul probably thought that as well when he was sort of a Jew, a Pharisee. I think he's come to realize that Jesus had a slightly different plan of how he was going to overthrow Caesar and the Romans. It's not that it wasn't going to happen, it was just going to happen in a slightly different way. If you remember in Acts, there's this added point that that Luke adds, which you're like, why does he include that? So they land in Philippi, which is a leading city of the district of Macedonia and a Roman colony. Luke is writing that going, do you see, we've landed in a leading city in a Roman colony and we're about to start preaching the gospel. Look what happens. And they start to overthrow the entire place just by talking about Jesus. I think Paul ends the letter of Philippians with that kind of thing in mind. It's like, guys, look where we've got to. Look where we've ended up. We're impacting Caesar's household already by being thrown in prison. Like, this message is going into the Roman Empire. It's going in very small. This is what Jesus said, isn't it? We should just listen to him. We don't need to do things in massive ways. When Jesus says, look, this is how the kingdom's going to work. It's going to be like a tiny little mustard seed planted, and everyone's going to forget about it. Almost forget that it's there. And it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And that is exactly what happened. Paul, one little man, was buried, one little seed, buried in a prison, forgotten about. Hey, we don't need to worry about that guy. But he starts to talk about Jesus, and then people talk about Jesus, and it spreads and it spreads. And within a couple of 100 years, the Roman Empire has largely become Christian. And now Christianity is widespread across the whole world, and the Roman Empire no longer exists. That is how things happen. That is exactly what Jesus planned all along. I think Paul has a wry smile on his face going, I can see what Jesus is doing here. He is overthrowing the Roman Empire in a way that I did not see coming, but I'm now part of it. Hey, do you feel like that at King's College? Jesus is, in some way, it's Jesus' message that established universities. It may feel like the tide's turned, but if you have this idea of, hey, Jesus has put us here and things grow like mustard seeds, you can feel and realize that actually this is how Jesus works. This is what he does. So as long as we keep speaking this message, it's going to spread and we're going to see victory. So why not discuss that idea? Does that give you confidence to keep on going, even if it doesn't look like anything is happening?